getting the stream up, so get things running. I'm just going around. Welcome to round 5 of the GT3 Championship, the penultimate round of the season. A dry Suzuka. Whether it will stay like that, we'll yet to know. But it's penultimate round of the season, match point for Tim Bentinck. A potential championship to pick up here. If he ends up winning this race, it is all wrapped up for him. If he comes in second place, Jerome would have to win the race, otherwise it is still wrapped up for Tim Bentinck. If it is P3, Jerome will need to be second or better. P3 for Tim Bentinck, no, P4 for Tim Bentinck. Jerome would still need to be second or better, and Dion would have to win for it not to go Tim Bentinck's way. P5 would be third or better for Jerome, and a win for Dion. 6th would be fourth or better for Jerome, and a win for Dion still. If it's 7th, it would need to be 5th or better for Jerome, a win from Sandro, or 2nd or better from Dion. If it's P8, it would be 6th or better for Jerome, and the same cases for Sandro or Dion once again. And if it is outside the points, Jerome's got to be P7 or higher to keep it going to the final round. And Sandro will have to be 2nd or higher, and Dion will have to be 3rd or higher, and Max Mulder would have to win the race after missing out on a couple, and well, he's had some unlucky races as Max Mulder, but yeah, unfortunately it's looking very bleak for him retaining the GT3 title. The only multiple time winner of the GT3 Championship. The only other 2 of 3 drivers to win the title. I think there's no, this is the 5th season. Never mind, I'm blabbering on there. The only 2 winners being myself and Nick Van Gelder in season 1, but unfortunately I'm not racing, and Nick is not racing either for this round, so there we are. We're going to have another brand new champion. With 4 minutes till quali, I'm just going to be right back in like 5 minutes, so bear with.
can.
Right, we are back. And, oh, it is wet. What I didn't think would happen after many consecutive weekends with rain, it's decided to happen again. We've got another wet qualifying, maybe another wet race, we do not know until we get to the grid. We'll see if we get on board with a flying lap. I don't think anyone is on a flying lap, maybe Max Mulder, possibly. I think everyone's actually on outlaps because I believe it's a 15-minute quali. Let's have a look at Max Mulder. I think he is the first to start a flying lap, so let's go see what the Mustang driver can do. Oh, and he goes off, and that is the lap gone straight away for Max Mulder. So, very tricky conditions. Gets still tail happy out of 2. Going into the S's, and it's going to have to go around and go for it again. A few still in the pits. Tim Benting, Jerome Adamaco, and another of the Mustangs. I think it must be... No, it's Louis Quinlan in the BMW, never mind. Let's see if anyone else is on that. Oh, Robin Bergstagen, the Viking. And he doesn't particularly show a lot of pace, does Robin, but he shows very consistently. You don't really see him making any mistakes out there as he bumps all over the way across the curves there. He goes under the bridge. We'll get pole in 11 minutes time. Everyone is out on track bar Tim Benting. He's the only... No, it's not Tim Benting, it's number 11. That's Jerome. Jerome's the only one left in the pits, so it is Jerome Adamaco, the only one in the pits. He's probably tinkering setup. Thinking, what is he going to go with for this quali? We'll finish the lap with Robin. So Robin, he's going to put a valid lap on the board. That's for sure. He'll cross the line. He'll go to the top. Should do, I think. The line is a little bit later than I thought. It's down towards, more towards turn 1, but he goes to the top. Giancarlo Souza goes to the top, replacing him there. 4 tenths quicker than Robin. So pace is fairly close. You see other cars crossing the line. We'll have Samuel Brandt. He crosses the line. That's invalid 224. So nothing will come out of that. Tim Banks just starting the lap. Yeah, he is. So we'll find out who is the next to cross the line. It's going to be Dion. He's on his flying lap in the Ferrari. Get on board to see how wet it really is from it's not too bad. Then again, not following anything with no spray. That is just the rainfall. It isn't too bad. Dion's found himself in a fairly decent gap on the track, and he goes wide, and that is a lap over, just like that. Very easy to make that kind of mistake, and Dion ends up paying the price for that. He will lose a lap. Max Mulder, I think he is invalid for this one. Certainly seems like it. And here comes Max Mulder. It's an invalid 209. So there's the kind of pace he can be setting. Just to be a bit careful at the moment. The number 13 of Fedor Samanidis. He goes to the top 212. Still about 3 seconds off the pace. But at least it's a valid lap. He just about keeps it in to go again. Sandro Dulis. So 18. Wouldn't have been enough anyway, as Carlos is not improving his lap time there. Gordon's number 27. Car of Louis Quinlan invalid, so won't be anything. Samuel Brandt, has he got a valid lap? Nope. Everyone not getting any valid runs here, so Robin's still P3 in this session. He could really pull out a really good qualifying here, as long as everyone keeps screwing up their laps. Dion, once again, he's on a valid lap this time. Just want to make sure he doesn't go off like he did. Max Mulder also valid, so we're going to see some representative lap times potentially at the end of this lap. So 2:10 from Dion. Does he keep it on track? Just about keeps it in. So it will be first valid lap for Dion. He's going to shoot him to the top of the timings with this one, I reckon. I'll say I reckon, it definitely will. It's going to be a sub 2:10, I believe. It's going to be a 2:09 for Dion, 2:09.6 provisional pole position. Max Mulder is probably the best at, and he's a 2:07.8, 1.8 seconds quicker. It's Max Mulder. Drives we haven't seen. Putting in laps here over there. Have a look around. There's Fedor Samanidis again, 2:12.2. He's putting in the valid laps in the V8 Vantage with the tractor. Sandro Dulis, he puts in a valid lap, 2:10.2. I think they're all going to have to start being a little bit safe. Just get the valid lap in and then smashing out right at the end. Tim Benting, he is invalid, and he is in a very difficult place on the track. Everyone comes in the pits apart from Tim. I think he's got enough fuel to just carry on a bit more. And Adamako is also behind him. Is he going to improve his lap? It's a 2:09.4, but it's also invalid again. So for Jerome, it's not good enough yet. He's only probably got 2 or 3 laps. This is about 3 laps maximum for these two left in this qualifying. We're just going to follow them for the time being, both running right with each other. Jerome is closing up a little bit on this lap. Kind of see the pace difference between the two. And I think Jerome's actually, no, Jerome has backed off a little bit from the hairpin. I did see him go wide. So maybe not this time around for Jerome. He is invalid, so he's only got 2 more attempts here, and he does not want to leave with no valid lap time because he was starting to have P10. That just wouldn't be good at all for him. I see him running on the grass down a straight there. Tim on a valid attempt here. 2:09 is his best lap time. He is taking all the curb there in that McLaren. I think very sensitive to the curbs, but I think he's going to go in between Max and Dion here with exactly in between a 2:08.2 for Tim Benting, and that's not too bad. He'll take it. He's in the right position. Is where he wants to be. 2 more laps for everyone. Well, so that's for everyone apart from those coming up to the chicane. They'll have 1 more go, 1 more bite of the cherry in the qualifying. And Tim Benting, just seen a throttle. Okay, no, that's alright. Oh, and he has a big moment. Oh, and he's gone off. Just make sure you keep out the barrier so you just save it. And he does just keep out of the way of Jerome as well as he muscles through. I hate this spectator thing. Go all the way through just to get to Jerome there. But here he is. He's on a valid lap this time. As long as he is not invalid, Jerome will jump on the sound. Right, he'll be the last driver to set a lap. You don't want to be in that grass. Using the maximum of the track limits as he possibly well can. He needs to win really just Jerome to keep going the run, but there is a drop round. Jerome did miss out 1 of the rounds, and so did Max Molder. Max Molder missed out a big one though. There comes Jerome. This is looking very good. Is it? It's going to be close to the top. I don't think it's going to blitz Max this time though. I think it's just going to put him in between Max and Tim Benting. It's not, it's going to put behind, so he's got to get this final lap gone. And he goes off, and that's it for Jerome Adamako. He's going to be lining up P3 or worse. And Tim Benting, championship leader, out-qualifies him. Even without the need of a final lap, he's going to go for it anyways. We'll find out what everyone that starts to put themselves at. There we go. So Sam Brandt, he's invalid, so that will be the end of Sammy Brandt's qualifying as he comes across the line. And he's lining up P10 on the grid. How about Louis Quinlan? Let's get on board with him. He's also invalid, so it won't be enough for him. Giancarlo Souza. Is it enough for him as well? Also invalid. So they're not getting the valid laps at the end here. Max Mulder just needed one push lap this qualifying, and he looks like he's on for pole position. How about Robin? He's currently almost 2 seconds up on his lap time, actually. So possibly enough of an improvement to put in somewhere. It's going to be a 2:15 for Robin, but he goes 2 places higher with that lap time. Sandra Doulis. It's hard to get on board with him, but he goes 4th. He goes ahead of his teammate, Dion Stahl. Number 13 coming in as well, or somebody this, but that is qualifying over Max Mulder. No one getting close to him in this session. Tim Bentinck, P2. He is exactly where he needs to be. A good shift for the Dutchman. But still, if it's P3 for Tim in the race, P2 will be good enough for Jerome to carry on to the final round, but you'll need to get a win in that final round, won't he?
So watch out for slippery curves and remember to brake earlier. Seconds. 20 seconds.
Right then. So here we go, on board for the formation lap. And for an hour race, it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. But off they go. There we go. Let's come off here. There we go. There we go. Just going to have a look once again at our championship permutations. See Tim, a win guarantees the title for him. If he doesn't finish in the points, Max Mulder, where he is at the moment, that will do for the Dutchman. He will carry on into the final round with a chance. Remember, this is the penultimate round, so wherever the others finish in relation, it only gets them to carry on. But for Tim, got enough of a gap at the moment. But if Jerome gets in front of it's Max, Jerome then Tim, that carries on between Max and, no, Max and Jerome, Tim and Jerome into the final round. Dion would have to win if Tim finished P4 or lower. Sandro would need to win if Tim finishes P7 or lower. So it is really, although it is at the moment a 5-way battle of 5 drivers still mathematically in contention, it really is a 2-horse race between the McLaren and the Mustang in P2 and P3 at the moment. And following from qualifying, it is a wet race, but it is not raining, so I think it's going to dry out. Not sure how quickly it will dry out, but it's definitely going to dry out somewhat. Tons of spray still being kicked up. It is just as wet as qualifying for the track surface. But yeah, no rainfall at the moment. Will definitely make things interesting, considering they do have one mandatory stop to do. Does everyone? And to be honest, I don't think, well, you can make it an hour. Drivers did do that at Spa. They made it over an hour into the race doing just the one stop. But I wonder if anyone will be going on to a dry set of tyres during this race. I think everyone's definitely going to go in long, that's for sure. And there's one of the cars far back, that's Samuel Brand. He's lining up P10 on the grid, but he is, and he wasn't able to catch up in time, so he'll be starting from the pit lane. Samuel Brand will have a big disadvantage off the start. He was some catching up to do, but as everyone cruises down the straight out of the final chicane, we're about to get underway for 1 hour of this race. It is 25 past 1 UK time at the moment.
Green light. Go,
And it goes green as a good start for Jerome. He sneaks underneath Max Mulder here. And Max Mulder does not have a good start. Tim Venting gets a blinder of a start as he goes up the inside. Oh, and Jerome have a spin behind. Oh, it's all chaos. I can't even see what's happening there. But Jerome's not had a good start. I think he had a little bit of contact with Max Mulder at the start of the race going into turn 1. And that sent him on a course onto the outside line, but it's Tim Venting takes the lead. It's exactly what his needs. His championship rival down to P7. That is not good news for Jerome. He's got a really big job to do. Now does him. Max Mulder should have the pace to possibly take the lead of this race, but there is Jerome P7. Shouldn't be too difficult of a task as he already looks up the inside of Aston Martin of Samanid. It's down to P9 now. He's lost even more places somewhere, or here and there. Oh, I think no, it's just the grid is sorted itself out. It's just Samuel Brand going through the first sector. It should sort out. Go on board with Tim Venting, the race leader of the Suzuka 1 hour here on lap 1 with the two Ferraris P3 and P4. I say kind of have been running this whole season, been very consistent with two Ferraris, so they're going to make another consistent result today. Tim Venting right on the push. Oh, he goes a little bit wide though, as does everyone else. And oh, the two Ferraris, that's one of the Ferraris off. And that's Dion Style. He's had a moment through 130R, he's gone off. And maybe he's caught the grass, maybe, on entry. And that might have sent him wide into a spin. We do not know, but he's lost several places. Rod's running P3 now. He's got a massive job to do as he's down in P8. So not good news for Dion Starr on the lap 1. It was looking great for him, but how that's changed. Robin up in P4 at the moment. There goes Jerome around the outside. Brilliant move for the German. He is up to P4, is making the progress he needs to do. Oh, and Robin makes a little mistake there. Just keep it on track, and he does, and he obtains P5. Coming out of the first over the S's. Tim Benting 1.2 ahead of Max Mulder. That is not too bad at the moment. Samuel Brown is 40 seconds off the back of Dion Starr, and Giancarlo Souza into the pits. Oh, what's happened to him? Oh, there's been a big moment at the hairpin. As that Sandra Doulis has had a moment, and that's cost him dearly. He's dropped down to P6. What is going on to the two Ferraris? Oh, and he's had a moment there as Samanidis hits the back of Sandra Doulis. That causes him to pivot a little bit. He had to back off to save the car, and Sandro is down into P7. The two Ferraris, P3 and P4, have fallen down to P7, P8 in just a matter of one lap. As Giancarlo says, oh, he has big damage on that Aston Martin, so a big repair going on. We'll go on board with the two race leaders. Tim Benting, Max Mulder. Max Mulder obviously looks like he has the pace over the McLaren. Jerome Alamaco 8 seconds down the road. That's how much he's lost from the skirmishes of the opening 2 laps. As we'll go into this mid-pack battle here. Robin Herdstagen, P4 at the moment, running very well, is the Audi driver. Louis Quinlan in the BMW right behind. Oh, he comes in very deep, almost. Has a little eye of a move up the inside of Robin Herdstagen. Sandra Lewis up to P6. Has made a move on his Greek compatriot. May have let him through after that little tap, or Sandro has just made that up on pace. That's what they got to do at the moment. Do the two Ferraris. They've basically got to win the race. It's the only way they keep in the championship battle, although it looks very unrealistic for them. You'll always keep it in mind. Anything can happen, always. As Sandra's teammate Dion Starr on the back here. This is where everyone is having moments. Into the hairpin here. Let's just see what happens. Into the hairpin. Oh, and Louis is having a look. Up the inside. He's not going to get the exit though. But that hairpin looks way too treacherous for everyone, and it's catching everyone off guard at the moment. Robin coming off a little bit of a trolley train at the moment, but nothing wrong with that. He is keeping everyone in check at the moment. And let's go on to the board leaders as well, because look how close Max Mulder is now. He's caught up huge amounts on this lap. It was 9/10, now it is a half second out of the final chicane. There's a big snap for Max Mulder. Jerome 9 seconds down the road now, so the gap is extending. Tim Benting does have the pace over Jerome. Oh, and Max Mulder goes off, has a moment, comes back on track. He does not lose much time at all, but does not want to make many of those mistakes. Does want to pick up those track limit points. Otherwise he could see himself with stop and go. Out of his own fault, yeah. And oh, look here, into turn 1, Sandro Doulis and Louis Quinlan have got past Robin Herstag, and there goes side by side through the S's. They make a little bit of contact, and it sends Sandra a little bit wide, and they make more contact. There's full wide battle into the S's here. And they're still side by side. Sandra on the outside, Louis on the inside, and it rolls reverse onto the final part here, and Louis just keeps that P4 away from everyone there. And Robin has been swamped this lap. He's lost 2 places down to P6 now. But Sandra is also hot on the heels of Louis Quinlan. And the next opportunity of a move will be coming up into the hairpin here. As you can see, Samanidis, he's going for a move on Robin Hersagen there. And Robin's going to keep the inside. Is he going to keep the place? On the outside is the Aston Martin. He's going to get the traction as well. And he makes the move on Louis Quinlan, and Sandra Dulis once again getting the exit on Louis Quinlan. I think I've got some names mixed up there. It was Flora Samanidis getting the exit on Robin Herstang, but there goes Sandra Dulis. A little mistake from Louis Quinlan on the spoon curve, sends him out wide, and Sandra takes full advantage of that. He goes up into P4. And he's back into, well, where he should really, well, still be there, even without the little errors. Back on, all 3 of them go wide at 130 yards. So treacherous through there. It is drying up very slowly, but I think everyone is expecting it to dry up much quicker, and they're already trying to push the track a lot harder than it should be. But Sandra Dulis got by, and he is comfortably clear of Louis now. I think he'll be alright for where he is. And Robin has fallen down to P8. And I believe we'll sit there until any more mistakes creep in from the drivers in front. And Dion Stowers got past Samanidis. Ferrari passing the Aston Martin up into P6. Now looking for Louis. And Ferrari will come back to P4, P5 fairly soon at this rate. While that's all going on, we're going to look aboard. Oh! And there's a... Okay, no, that was the Aston Martin of Giancarlo Sousa just getting out of the way. I thought that was something happening there for the lead, but it wasn't. I mean, it's just a white and pink. Very much causing an illusion. But Max Mulder has taken the lead. That I did not notice, but Max Mulder is into the lead of the race. He's done it this lap, that's for sure. And he was definitely looking quicker than Tim Benting. A little bit more mistakes, but he put in much better pace, and he's managed to take advantage of this lap, and he is up into the lead. I don't think Tim Benting is too worried about that though, because his fight is more with Jerome Adamaco than it is Max Mulder. And the gap across the line is 7.3 between Tim and Jerome. Jerome slowly clawing the gap down. See, it's the fastest lap. I think Jerome does. Jerome 2:09.8 fastest lap. Max Mulder 2:10.1. Tim Benting 2:10.2. So they're all very evenly matched, to be honest. And this lap, Sandra Dulis has pulled a massive gap over Samanidis, and Dion Stiles had a moment. He has dropped back down to P8 behind Robin and Samanidis once again. Louis Quinlan has also had a moment because he has dropped down to P6. So I think Max Mulder should be okay unless he makes a mistake in the lead. But we shall see. I could see Dion making a move once more for position on Robin. And there goes Robin, he goes defensive at the hairpin. Is it going to be a switchback or is it going to be riding all the way around the outside for Dion? And it's going to be around the outside, it's not enough. Robin still gains horrendous amounts more traction on Dion there. And it's the battle for P9. Well, it's not really, because Giancarlo Sousa is a lap down. As he pulls inside, it may be a bit of an interesting place to pull aside to let your lap driver through. Oh, and he cuts across completely. I think, yeah, he's not the best of time in that Aston. Squirming away as he's made his mandatory stop though, so has Sam Brandt. So I wonder if they'll try to go to the end. Max Mulder has made up another second on Tim Bentinck that lap. Jerome Alamaco has made up 8/10 on Tim Bentinck. He is running quickest of anyone at the moment. Actually, never mind, it is Max Mulder running with the fastest lap, 2:85 that last lap. He is very much flying. He wants to win this race. Does the reigning two-time champion, most wins in GT3 history, most championships, and the rain has suddenly come back, and the shower has just appeared out of absolutely nowhere, and it was drying up, but it's all of a sudden it might have just stopped, and it's gonna continue to get wetter and wetter once more. Maybe that's good for these tyres. Stops them burning out too early in the race. But yeah, that is very interesting. Sam Brandt lets Sandra through, and yeah, Dion Style can't get past Robin Herstegen. They are dropping off a little bit from the pack. Dion feels probably has much more pace, but it's a matter of getting the pass done once more. Max Mulder 2:08.0 that last lap, fastest lap of the race. As Robin Herstegen goes wide, and that is an open invitation for Dion. Makes the move very simple as that, as he goes up into P7, but Robin looking for the inside is just not going to get alongside that time. But there goes Dion. I think he's gone off just a little bit. He's come back on track, but he's alright. So Dion will keep P7 for the time being, unless he makes another mistake. Wonder if we will see that again though. Samuel Brandt, he has let Sandra through, but he is now pressing on to try and make a little fight of it. Sam Brandt has always driven the Lamborghini in GT3. Never seen him drive anything else. I've never seen Sandro drive anything else than a Ferrari as well. Actually, maybe the Acura a few years ago. Max Mulder is 2 seconds ahead. But it's only 2 seconds ahead, which is surprising. I thought he would have pulled more of a gap. He is ripping up the pace. He's getting to the wet side of the track. It is raining, but it's still lacking surface water on the racing line, which is making Mulder go to the opposite side of the track to pick up some wet stuff to cool those tyres, stop them burning up. As Jerome Alamaco is maintaining the gap 6.1 behind Tim Bentinck. But as they get to the line, it's going to be 5.9 for Jerome. He crosses the line, 2.84, but it's still not going to be a new personal best for him, because he must have gone off again. Lots of off-track excursions. Off-track, I don't know if I said the word right. Bear with 2 seconds. Right, we are back. Sorry, stuff was going on. It's alright, 2.3 is the gap. Jerome's not had a good lap that last lap. He's dropped a second or so from Tim. Gap 6.7 at the moment. The gap to the leader though, at the moment retained at a solid 2.2. Is going to keep Max on his toes this race. Tim just has to keep doing what he's doing. We're only a third way through the race, but he's keeping it consistent. That's all he needs to do. Every time we have gone through this race, he ends up getting the strategy just about right. The pit lap perfect, and then just enough fuel to get to the end. All about saving time. It is, but here we are. This rain is certainly going to help the tyres out, especially those that have been pushing. At the same time, I don't know, because that's going to be burning, probably burn a lot of tread away. If there is lots more puddles out there, then the grip is just gonna completely disappear. But at the moment, everyone is spread out. I think Giancarlo Souza unfortunately retired from the race. Big problems with that Aston Martin during the first few laps, and another lap down, I think. Yeah, that is fair enough. We've come to the end of lap. That'll be lap 9, I believe so. Or 10, I do not know. I think it's the end of the 9th lap. All I know, that was 10 lap. That's got to be the end of the 10th lap, surely. So the end of lap 10. We are 22 minutes into the race. Max Mulder has pulled out second over Tim Benting that last lap. A 2:09.8 for the Dutchman was not too good. He doesn't drop a lot to Jerome that last lap, because Jerome also putting in a similar time lap. But now we had a lot of fights, like 4 or 5 laps ago, but now everything is starting to... Oh, and Max Mulder has a mistake there into the hairpin. You see him returning back on track. He was off onto the gravel just a tad, but he's dropped 2 seconds to Tim Benting and has brought the McLaren back into play. See, Max Mulder, he's pushing, he's quickest on track, but he's still, these little mistakes creeping in. Tim Benting chasing victory. Now Giancarlo Sousa is back in the race. I think he's just disconnected from the lobby, possibly. Not entirely sure, but look at Tim Benting is chasing this win. Rewind it 5 years ago, back in 2020 at Suzuka, the 2019 F1 season. He took his final win of that season, his championship winning campaign, and he's eyeing up to try and win the race to cap off what would be a championship winning campaign. Is Max Mulder feeling the pressure yet? Probably. The gap is just maintaining under a second through the S's at Max Mulder. Let's see what he has in response. Jerome has caught up. You can see him slowly creeping closer on Amelia, and you come through the little kink right just before the hairpin. You see him coming into shot. Jerome, he makes his way into the shot, and let's go out the hairpin. There he is, just there. He is very, very close. He is getting much closer to the leaders here. Which will make him particularly dangerous on a pit stop when that does come around to be into play. As I believe everyone is not pitted yet, apart from the bottom 2 of Samuel Brandt and Giancarlo Sousa. He's back into the races, Giancarlo, which is good to see. Battle into chicane. So it's there. We got to start to get a battle once again for P5, which is good to see. Samanidis, Quinlan, and Stahl. 5, 6, and 7. Aston, BMW, and Ferrari. And there's a yellow flag. It is Samuel Brandt. He's had a moment at the start of the S. Be careful rejoining into this little battle, but he's going again and he's okay. I think he's just gonna move out the way for these 3 as he does. You can probably join into the battle if you can, but yeah, it's not Not a great day for Samuel. It's been a bit of a wretched season. Don't really want to remember this season. And there we go, it's a battle here, going into the hairpin. Does Louis have the run? He's going to cut across, and he's going to be clear of the Aston Martin of Samanidis, and Dion, he makes a mistake, he misjudges the braking. Gets a little bit close, he had to avoid action, and he touches the grass, goes off into a little spin. He drops off that little battle. Only 3 seconds off. Only 3 seconds off Samuel, actually. But he loses about 4 seconds in total for that one. But Luke Quinlan is back up into P5 after the mistake earlier in the race. Anyway, we'll catch on to the battle of the leaders. There's a second between Max Mulder and Tim Benting, has stayed that way for the last few laps. Jerome Anamaco, his progress is halted at the moment. But yeah, as we come into the hairpin, he makes his way into the camera shot a little bit later than previous laps. And once again, but come the end of this lap, it's going to be halfway point of this race, and this is where we'll probably see the first pit stops. And speaking of pit stops, we do see the first pit stop from, or first scheduled pit stop anyway, from Samanidis, Fedoras Samanidis, the Aston Martin, number 13. He's in the pits for his mandatory stop. No damage or anything, so it is a scheduled pit stop.
We are at the halfway mark, keep pushing.
Yeah, thank you, game. Yeah, I need to keep pushing on. This little speaking session. Here we are. These boys have crossed the line. They'll make it halfway through the race. Jerome has dropped off this lap a lot more than previous. He probably a mid to high 209, and it is a 209.6, so he has dropped off about 6-7 tenths to the race leader. And same for Tim Benting, he has dropped off also a tad bit from Max Mulder. So it's 209.1 that last lap for Tim Benting, 208.5 for Max Mulder. So Jerome, he needs to try and gain this in the pit stop if he wants a chance, but it's looking ever so unlikely now if the gap drops off, unless we see a grave mistake from Tim or Max that ends up causing anything. We'll catch on to, big moment for Louis Quinlan there, but Dion, he has caught up a lot there. He has caught up a lot in these last few laps. He's going to be right in the back of the BMW there. Sandro, at the moment, he's in the hairpin. He is running his own race, fairly comfortable. Absolutely, like nothing near him. Oh, he doesn't make any mistakes. That's pretty much P4 bagged for the Greek driver. This little chase for P5. Currently the only battle on track. So yeah, let's get on board shot. Let's see what Dion can do. I think Dion is eyeing up something into the chicane, and Robin goes second. 30-second stop go. Oh, and there goes Louis off the track at 130 yards. Gonna watch out for Dion. Dion will take P5 off Louis Quinlan going into the Cassia Triangle chicane, and Robin picks up a stop go for 30 seconds. I think he might have sped into the pit lane on his pit stop, so he's going to have to stop again. Such a harsh penalty for speeding, really. But, and again, you don't know how much he did speed or not. But Racy was running P8, he is still P8. But he's going to be in the clutches of Samuel Brandt now. And potentially might lose out that final championship point. Go back on board to the two leaders, or Tim Benton goes very wide. He is 1.7 behind Max Mulder. To Roman Amaco, 8 seconds behind these two. Now he's starting to drop off just a tad. Maybe it is time to stop for Jerome. Get a brand new set of tyres on. I think the rain has stopped once more. I don't know if they're going to try and wait it out for dry tyres. But you see there's not a lot of spray coming off the cars. So not as much as earlier anyways. If you've got to stop now, put a set of wets on, you'll be essentially driving offline for the entire rest of the race if it doesn't end up drying up. But if you hold on enough, those tyres are able to hold on enough for a set of dries when the dry conditions do come around, then that's going to benefit you. So anything can happen here. It's whoever picks the right strategy. Oh, you see, it just needs to serve it, that's all. I thought he picked up another one. That would be good. No, Robin's alright. Just has to serve it within the next couple of laps. At the moment, 8 seconds is the gap, and the Jerome Amaco time is running out on his end. .23 minutes of the race left, roughly 10 laps, so more like 9, given we still have a pit stop to get out of the way. And that last lap, Tim Benting 208.1, his personal best lap. 280 is still the best out there. Jerome a 280. The best lap of the last lap. So Jerome is starting to put in the pace now. Maybe he was saving those tyres. We do not know, but the track looks very, very dry now. There is definitely a dry line starting to form. It looks very treacherous still, but you can see the dry line here is almost time to pit. what the weather will do afterwards. We do not know. If the rain starts hurtling his way back down, then yeah, it's not gonna look very well. But ew. Tim Bentinck 2:07.4. That's how he is, closing up on Max Mulder. 8 tenths quicker than Jerome, 4 tenths quicker than Max. It's the new fastest lap of the race. It is. It was a clean lap as well. It looks so dry now. I think it is. Must be time. It's Louis Quinlan in for his pit stop with 20 minutes left of this race. Sandra Julius carries on. Don't feel it's the right time yet. But we'll see what Louis comes onto track with. Let's see what tyres he's got. It looks like he is on the dry tyres. Yeah, you can see he's got a bit of grip, and then losing it here and there. Robin into the pit, stop and go penalty. May as well change his tyres while he's in there, I reckon. But this is going to be big. Who's going to take the race lead from this pit stop? Is Max Mulder going to hold on, or is it going to be Tim Bentinck once again? Tim Bentinck just looks much quicker in these changing conditions in that McLaren. 7 tenths is the gap. Who's going to pit this lap? It looks like it's completely dried up on the dry racing line. On the racing line. Dried up muck on his windscreen. Here we go. Who's going to dive in? It's going to be both drivers. It's going to be a battle in the pit stops for the lead of the race. Who is going to take it? Who has played? Who's played it better or not? Let's see. Drew Manamaco also in the pits. So the top 3 all in the same lap. Who's going to come out in front? They're all going for the dry tyres, obviously. They're all right at the end of the pits. Max Mulder. Oh, there they are. We're going to find out who comes out in the lead of the race here. Just going to look behind Tim Bentinck, pumping the fuel into the car. 18 minutes left of this race. They should come out. Oh, that's Jerome Adamaco. And he comes out right before these guys. This is massive for the race. I did not expect that. Jerome Adamaco has played it perfectly with the fuel. Has he put in enough fuel to get to the end? We do not know. Is he put in enough just to lift and coast? Maybe just a little bit, but he is in the lead, 5 seconds ahead of Tim Bentinck. And he is back in position to keep the championship going on to the final round. What a twist in this race. We thought Tim had it wrapped up, but now it is kind of flipped on its head. That's 2 Ferraris in the pits. Sandro Dulis coming out of the pits. He's running P4, and he has a drive-through penalty for speeding. the Sandra Dulis, and he was running P4, and that might have just cost him dearly. He had about a 30-second gap to his next rival, so it should bring him back with Dion style come the end of the race. Drive through shouldn't lose too much, but there comes Dion. It is going to be close between the two Ferraris after serving that drive through. It is 50 kilometers per hour through the pit lane. It's really slow. There's about a 30-second gap between the two. And there comes Luke Quinn. He's on the back of Jerome. Whether he's just been lapped or not. Tim Benting, 3.7. He's got the pace in these dry conditions. Does Tim? Oh, he goes a little bit wide. But here you go. That's who's got it better. As they cross the line, 15 minutes or 16 minutes left of this race. He goes off wide, there's Jerome. You don't want to do that, there's still bits of wet stuff out there. Oh, and he does it again! Don't... Scaring us at the moment. Tim Benting still catching up at a rate. Was he waiting for this? It's 2.5 seconds out. He's half the deficit. Has Jerome? It's maybe Jerome underfueled it too much. Because he's not got the pace over Louis Quinlan. He's really struggling for pace here, and if he's going to carry on like this, I don't think he's going to be able to keep Tim Benting behind unless this is the plan, to lift and coast as much as he can in front of Tim Benting and wait until he has enough back, but he seems to be struggling a bit too much. He goes out wide. It's going to be a second gap between the two race leaders. Max Moller has fallen down to P3 and is 7 seconds down the road. See the dry line there, you don't want to get on the darker bits, tarmac. But look how slow Jerome is going. Look how quick Tim is going, look at this. He's just got so much better drive and traction than Tim Benting. Maybe it's the tyres, I do not know. Has Jerome changed his tyres during that pit stop? Is he still relying on a bit of wet? I do not know. This is deeply interesting. There comes Tim Benting. He will not make a move just yet. But Jerome goes deep into the chicane here. Oh, and they make a little bit of contact. Jerome pushes Tim out wide. He's not letting him go through that easily. What just happened there? It's a bit like F1 broadcast there. But here comes Tim Benting. He's going to try and come back at Jerome into turn 1. Max Mulder will slowly cruise up into this little battle. Whether he's going to help his teammate Jerome. Oh, they make a little bit of contact once again. Jerome is absolutely planting his Mustang right in the middle of the track here. Look at him. And he is making that as wide as you want. Max Mulder has just gained 4 seconds in the first sector. And here we go, here comes Tim. He's going to get the drive on the inside. There they go, into Degner 1. Jerome's going to try and keep up the inside. It's the only thing he can do, but it's not going to be enough. Tim Benting takes the lead of the race. Unbelievable scenes. Jerome tried his best, but he just couldn't keep it up. He just couldn't keep it up. He couldn't keep up driving that slowly. Whether it is pace, whether it's tyres or fuel, I do not know, but he's really lacking a pace compared to Tim and Max Mulder. He goes off, does Jerome? Oh, he don't want to crash into Max Mulder! Oh, and I think they have. Oh, and they have. Max Mulder is... Oh, and he's got damage to Max Mulder. We didn't get to see it. the broadcast angle just decided to follow something else instead. Unbelievable. And Max Mulder down in P3 now. Surely Jerome's got to give that back to Max Mulder, or he's just going to carry on. Oh no. Maybe Max Mulder will catch up. I'll tell you what, I think Jerome is still on those tires. I think he's still on those wet tyres. I mean, it was his only chance to get close to Tim Benting, or somewhat. But in the end, that is just given Tim Benting the title. He is 7 seconds up the road. 11 minutes left in this race. It is looking very secure for the Dutchman. 5 years ago, he ended up winning at Suzuka in his Renault in F1, in his championship winning season. That's the last time he won in Suzuka in SRL. And 5 years later, he's going to win at Suzuka and become a multi-series champion. The third multi-series champion in SRL's history. Like Nick and myself before him. And it'll be first on ACC as well, which is another. I mean, look how close Max is getting to Jerome now. Even with that damage, look at it's all crumpled up, that Mustang. Oh, and Jerome also comes off there. He can't take it flat. He's definitely got the wrong tyres on, there's no doubt about that. I thought it was just fuel or something, but no, yeah, you can see those tyres have tread. I'm surprised they still have tread, the way Jerome's been driving it for the last 10 minutes. But maybe, yeah, either a missed call to not put the tyres on, or it was a risk that the rain would come back. Or a risk to try and just keep it, like keep in front, hold up. It wasn't enough. Tim Benting, 2:03.9, fastest lap of the race from Dutchman. It's not going to be the fastest lap because he possibly went off during that lap. 2:06.1 is the fastest lap by Sam Brand, down P8. Very good job from the Dane, well done at the moment. 2:06.4 is Max Mulder's best. I don't think he's going to be able to beat that because he's got Jerome Alamaka right in front of him and he's got a broken steering column. He does, so yeah, let's see what happens between these two. Surely Jerome can't keep him up for too long. Jerome, oh look at that, and look at the switchback from Max Mulder. Very, very sweet from the Dutch two-time champion. And he moves up into second. That will help his chances maybe to get back into the top 3 come the end of the season. And we'll see if there's any other battles going on at the moment. Giancarlo Souza and Robin Herstagen is a lap up on Giancarlo. But unfortunately, Robin's not in the points anymore. He is about half a lap down on Samuel Brandt, who is currently on course to get a final championship point, which he probably didn't think was going to happen after the first 10 minutes of the race, but it seems like it is going to happen for him. 2 minute 4.2 for Sandro Dulis, new fastest lap of the race. Tim Benting might just be about to beat that. With 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go. 4 laps left of this race. And here comes Tim Benting. It's going to be a 2:02.4 for the McLaren man. Let's see if there's anything else going on at the moment. Jerome. Let's see where he is at the moment. Relative, he is 40 seconds up the road from Sandro Dulis. So he should just about be okay, I think. Not entirely sure, but he is going to try and muscle that Mustang to the end of the race. Try and secure that podium. But it's totally up for grabs. Sandro Dulis, he is closing that gap fairly quickly. Oh, look how much counter steering that car all the way through. He's going to have to back off just to let that Aston Martin through. Sandro Dulis, a 2:03.2. I'll tell you what, he is putting in the pace to potentially grab that. Oh, he had a big moment there. You don't want to do that though. He could still grab P3 with enough pace. Dion might even be able to grab P4, depending on how those wet tyres still hang on to the end of the race. Here comes Tim Benting. We're gonna have 3 laps left of the race. He's about to set another fastest lap of the race, 2:02.3. No, 0.4 actually. Doesn't improve his personal best. He might have had a off track, but he's setting the right amount of pace. He's 35 seconds up the road now. That might be because of the damage from Max Mulder and the interesting tyre choice of Jerome Adamaco, but he's really putting in a fantastic race so far. And there's a big battle going on here as Jerome Adamaco, I think, is being passed by Robin Sagan. Fedora Samanidis in the Aston Martin, about to take that as well. It's 30 seconds with 3 laps to go. I do not think, I have a feeling that Jerome is not going to be able to hold on. It's 2:19 that last lap. It's getting slower and slower, those tyres. They're just burning out way too quickly. I don't know if any of them are going to pop or not, if they can do that. But as Jerome comes to the end of the second, third of the S's, Sandro Dulis and Dion Sully just passed the pit straight 2:03.5, 2:03.0. Dion Style catching up Sandro, and same for Sandro on Jerome. This is the battle at the moment, and Robin's at a moment there. He's letting Salas through. Be 2 laps to go as Tim crosses the line in a second. Just seeing where they are relative. 25 seconds. Sandro's probably seen the gap tumble down at the moment. He definitely sees a chance. He's 6 tenths up on his best. He is locking in. The race is far from over, even though we have only 2 minutes 50 seconds on the timer. So the rest of this lap and 2 more afterwards for Sandro. As long as they don't get lapped by Tim Benting, but I don't think that's going to happen. And Jerome Adamaco is going to be a 2:16 this lap. If there's another 2:03 for Sandro Dulis, he might. Oh, he goes off at turn 1, does Jerome. Really, the grip has really dropped off for the German. It's only a 15-second gap. Actually, no, it's not. 18 seconds. About 19 seconds actually, yeah. Just seeing where Jerome's lap time was as Sandro crossed the line, but Sandro is on course to catching him by the time they get to the end of sector 2 on the final lap. So we're going to watch out for that. But we're going on board with Tim Bentinck for the time being because he's about to start the final lap of the race. And it'll be his victory lap.
Okay,
Not just for today, but the title as well. As he comes into turn 1, a 2:02.2. Still putting in the fastest laps of the race. He is 50 seconds in front of Max Mulder at the moment. Without any of the little shenanigans happening, it would have probably been about 10 seconds between the lot of them, depending on if Tim also had this pace dominance over them on the same strategies and no damage. But we'll find out here. 130R for Jerome. Sandro Doulis is very much not far behind. He is only about 5 seconds. Maybe not even that. He's going to get him on this final lap. And any little shenanigans between the two might invite Dion Stahl to the podium. We do not know. But here comes Tim Bentinck going through Spoon for the final time. Or final racing lap. As he comes up to 130R. He started off the season pretty much not too extravagant, not too off the pace. But he's took big important wins this season, such as Spa and the Nürburgring. But here comes Tim Bentinck. He's come around the final corner. He's going to win in Suzuka. It's not the line there, but here he comes to the line. It's a bit further down. Tim Bentinck is going to cross the line. He's going to win in Suzuka. And he is the SRL GT3 Season 5 champion. With a fantastic drive. He finishes over a minute in front of Max Mulder there. Well, it was due to damage for Max's end, but anyway, well done to Tim Bentinck. Jerome has been passed by both Ferraris. I knew those tyres would not hold on. He's tried his best on those tyres, but it's just never going to work. It dried out way too much now. Maybe he was expecting it not to hurt so much. But it's kind of his last gasp to try and keep in the title fight, but unfortunately it was not going to be enough for Jerome. It was a mega effort for him though. Max Mulder, try and get on board with him. There he is, he's going to come in P2. Even with a crumpled front end, he's going to take P2. I don't think he's going to be happy. He comes to a stop straight away to finish that one off. As here comes Sandro Doulis. Probably wasn't going to expect this after 50 minutes into the race, but he's going to come across the line, and it's going to be a podium for Ferrari, 3 and 4 for the two Ferraris. And Jerome Adamarco, he's going to come home in P5. Valiant effort on the tyres, but he's going to be, I can know he's going to be very disappointed with that, as it is now over. I think everyone's crossed the line now, and that is it for Suzuka. And there are your final results. Everyone finishing the race. That is always good to see. Not sure if we... I may ask to interview. I might invite Tim for a little champions interview. Just for the sake of it. Yeah, I'll invite Tim. Let's invite him, have a chat with him. If he's still there, hopefully he is. I have invited Tim. So. He says he will. He says he will. He'll just be joining us, and there he is, just making sure he's got his voice shared as well.
Yeah, I think so. Should be.
I'll just double check.
Double check.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I can hear you on the stream, dude. So Tim Bentink, I believe that is your third win of this season, but most importantly, you are the Season 5 GT3, SRL GT3 champion. And how does that feel?
Amazing, amazing. It's actually a nice coincidence, considering I won the Season 5 F1 championship. And now the Season 5 GT3 championship. But yeah, it feels amazing.
Yeah, it's quite sentimental because when you won your last win, or it was your last win of your championship winning season F1 was at Suzuka. And that was the last time you won at Suzuka, so
That's
and you come back
coincidence.
here and you've won at Suzuka and you've took another championship. And you've become the third driver in SRL history to have won in multiple classes of F1 and GT.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, yeah, the race was quite an interesting one with you and Max Mulder kind of keeping with each other for the most part. You had a few little mistakes, which you were creeping up there, and when it started drying up, your pace just absolutely went crazy. And then
sorry.
No, you can carry on.
I honestly didn't really expect it because I haven't had that much practice. In the rain, it was completely unexpected. I really thought it would be dry today, but the McLaren overall is, I think, a bit easier to drive in the rain, maybe. So yeah, I didn't really mind. My pace wasn't where I wanted it to be in the rain, but I think it could have been a lot worse. And after that, it all kind of came together.
Yeah, after you pitted to the dries, you managed to jump Max in the pits, but Jerome jumped both of you, but he did remain on the wet tyres.
Yeah, unexpectedly.
In the end.
Yeah, I really didn't expect that, but once I saw he jump me, that was the only option. But on the radar, it showed it was going to dry up, so I wasn't too worried about that. It was just all about passing him cleanly, which was, it was.
Yeah, he made the car very wide, and
oh yeah,
I
the
mean,
final corner, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of had, well, that's the only kind of choice he had, and then he was running behind whether he would have caught you on dry tyres. In the end, we do not know. But
yeah.
in the end, I think he's feeling maybe the track would have remained a bit wet. It shouldn't. He didn't think he would have dried up as quickly, but in the end, it did. In the end, Max and Jerome ended up colliding after a mistake, and yeah, you ended up winning by 60 seconds as well.
Yeah,
that might be due to Max's damage, but
yeah, I wasn't sure if Max had damage or not. But yeah, he must have, because that's a lot. But yeah, no, the final stint felt great.
Well, fortunately, the last round shouldn't be wet at all. Hopefully, if it is wet, I'm going to be very surprised in Laguna Seca. But what do you aim to do in Laguna Seca? Do you aim to do any little challenges, or are you just going to race on like normal and try and see out with another win?
I'm going to try for it. I think Laguna Seca fits the car and me quite well. So yeah, I'm just going to give it my all again.
That's good to hear, man, and obviously well done again on your second SRL title and your first GT3 title. I think that'll bring us to the end of the stream, and just working out which is the next race which is being streamed. December 20th will be the final round of the GT3 Championship.
Yeah.
So yeah, set your calendars for that, and the next race we'll be coming to will be November 29th, so next week, for the Spanish Grand Prix in F1. So until then, everyone, you'll probably be with Samuel Brandt for that one, but from me, I will see you in December for the final round of GT3. Till then, goodbye.
Bye bye.